Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I think Rita will catch up with us in some fashion. So roll call is I see all of our commissioners are present other than Rita Semmel, and she's on her way to being present. So that's our roll call. And I'd like to, item 2 is ask for an adoption of our agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 So moved. And item 3 is adoption of our May 27th regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Turning to item 4, Trent Rohr, our Executive Director's report.
Thanks, President Khan. Good morning, President Khan and Commissioners. I'll jump right into my report. No real activity at the federal level related to us other than the child care tax credits will begin to be going on in July for selected families, many of whom will benefit from that. But a lot of activity, of course, at the state with the budget negotiations as well as locally. So at the state level, the governor, the legislature finalized their version of the budget, and now the governor and legislature are in their negotiations for their final, sort of the final outstanding items. We're tracking two significant ones. The other big issues for us seem to be settled, and then governor and the legislature seem to have agreement on. But the big ones are around the expanded housing supports the governor included in his budget and the legislature in theirs. And these are 4 programs that HSA administers. One is the CalWorks Housing Support Program. One is the Bringing Families Home program for homeless parents engaged in the child welfare system. There's the HDAP program, Housing Disability Assistance Program. That's housing support and subsidies for disabled adults applying for SSI. And then the 4th is the Home Safe program for our Adult Protective Services clients. The areas that they're negotiating on are the final budgeted amounts, as well as certain provisions around how we as an agency can use those funds. We're asking for more flexibility to be able to serve, provide different sorts of resources and to an expanded population. And so kind of the negotiations are back and forth on that. There's also issues around a local county match. The governor wanted a 25% county match, meaning we'd have to provide 25 cents for every dollar we receive. The legislature and the County Welfare Directors Association, along with us, are pushing for 0 county match. I'm assuming it'll fall somewhere in between there. I actually talked to the governor's office yesterday around these issues. It looks like a final deal will probably be struck by the end of this week, so tomorrow. The other issue we're tracking has to do with Medi-Cal expansion. The governor proposed in the May revised to expand Medi-Cal for undocumented individuals and households age 60 and above. And the legislature's position is Medi-Cal for undocumented individuals age 50 and above. So they're negotiating on that item as well. So locally, budget hearings have been going on since last week. Our agency just had our 2nd budget hearing yesterday at the Board Budget Committee. I'll go into that in a second. Just sort of overall citywide, the mayor's budget was able to be balanced, as you know, largely because of the additional federal support from the stimulus. The budget does include very large expansions due to ballot initiatives, both of the Proposition Cs, one for homelessness housing supports, and the other for early care and education. The courts lifted the stays on both of those, which unlocked hundreds of millions of dollars for those 2 areas of investment. The mayor also included in her budget really significant $42 million investment of food support for families, seniors, and others. That's really a continuation of a lot of the support that was provided during the pandemic. And this is going to carry forward into fiscal year 21-22. I raise it because we as an agency, along with our partner at Disability and Aging Services, will be administering these funds through competitive procurement processes largely that will be going out over the summer. There's also the mayor included a 3% cost of doing business increase for our community-based organization partners on top of baselining a 3% increase in the current year. So that's good news for our community partners. And then affects sort of the agency, not necessarily the purview of the commission, but the budget reflects the mayor's support to create a new Department of Early Childhood, which would be independent of HSA, meaning that the Office of Early Care and Education, which is currently one of the 3 departments in the Human Services Agency, would be moved out of the HSA structure and merge with First 5. And so OECE and First 5 would become a new department. And that would begin in fiscal year 22-23. So we will be planning for that transition over the next year. So our budget is still with the Budget and Appropriations Committee. As I said, we had our hearing yesterday, our second hearing. It went well. We didn't have any reductions on top of the reductions we already agreed to with the board's budget and legislative analyst, which totaled about $1.6 million. So out of a $1.3 billion agency budget, we can certainly deal with $1.6 million of proposed reductions. The budget will head to the full board. Well, it'll go one more iteration next week, and we'll hear about final amendments and restorations next week, and then the full board will vote on it for passage in early July. A few local initiatives I just want to point out that have sort of a relation to HSA. We're not sort of key on the announcements, but certainly affect our households, families, seniors, and others who we serve. The first is the San Francisco Museums for All program, which we championed a couple years ago alongside Mayor Breed, has now been expanded year-round. We initially it was called sort of Museums for All during the summer, and now it'll be year-round, which means that 225 San Franciscans who are on public benefits will now have free or reduced admissions to more than 20 local museums or cultural institutions. The mayor really wants to use this not only to support, of course, our lower income households, families, and children, but also support the city's reopening and recovery. When we launched in the summer of 2019, HSA-led launch, more than 25,000 free or reduced admissions were redeemed by San Franciscans. So we think year-round, obviously, will have a larger impact. There was an event at the Children's Creativity Museum with the mayor, Treasurer Cisneros, and our agency to celebrate and announce this. Also related to populations that we support, the mayor and Treasurer Cisneros are proposing the elimination or reduction of a number of municipal fines and fees that have an adverse or disproportionate impact on people who are low income, communities of color. The mayor's budget office, as well as the treasurer's financial justice project, developed these recommendations, and it'll be included, sort of the loss of revenue will be included in the mayor's budget moving forward. Our role there is to help identify the populations who might be eligible. Also, Mayor Breed announced a new initiative to support women and families with children in San Francisco called the Women and Families First Initiative, which will provide targeted job training for 300 women in industries that are expecting to grow in San Francisco during the recovery and beyond. It will support about 800 children with child care tuition credits. It's really part of her effort to promote, the mayor's effort to promote equitable economic recovery and advances our longtime city goals to ensure quality early care and education for kids and families at all income levels. And then we're partnering with COVID Command, with the Department of Public Health around vaccinations. The HSA's communications office are assisting with the promotionation of vaccines or vaccinations for HSA employees as well as clients who we serve. So in partnership with DPH, we're setting up a number of vaccine clinics at our service centers, developing outreach, targeting staff and clients, including those who are homebound, to get vaccinated. And we're having vaccination clinics in July and August at 1235 Mission, which is our office on Mission between 8th and 9th. It serves primarily single adults through our CalFresh and CAP programs. The clinics are free. They're you don't have to make an appointment. They're drop-in. They're open to our clients, staff, family members, and any community partners and their staff who would want to come in. So shifting gears to COVID and the city's response. So the COVID Command Center, which has been the hub of the city's response to COVID since April, is closing. That's at Moscone, and it's physically closing, but also sort of the response, the centralized response, is also ending, meaning that the responses will devolve back to the departments who are responsible for their certain areas. So for HSA, during the response, we were responsible for care and shelter, which meant developing, managing, overseeing the alternative housing system, as well as providing, as I mentioned earlier, significant food support and coordination of food support across the city. So as we move post June 30th, all of the housing work will shift over to the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing and out of HSA. However, HSA will retain the food coordination and support in sort of the post-COVID command, centralized COVID command structure. I thought it might be just since we're transitioning out, just to sort of recap the significant work we did around the alternative housing system that we developed in response to COVID. Led by Dan Kaplan, Noelle Simmons, and Doris Baroni, we developed a really massive and complex system in response to COVID that included hotels for homeless individuals and for people needed to quarantine. We had trailers at Pier 94, we had shelters, safe sleep, first responder hotels. And as we transitioned it out, I just want to sort of recap for you commissioners what we accomplished. The alternative shelter program ended up being 30 hotels, again, for homeless, for first responders, and for individuals who needed to isolate or quarantine. We had 8 congregate shelters. We had a trailer site, as I mentioned, serving the Southeast community, and 7 safe sleeping sites for homeless individuals who didn't come indoors. The alternative shelters program served over 9,000 individuals, 4,300 through isolation and quarantine and congregate sites, 3,800 people in our hotel or trailer sites, and then another 1,800 people experiencing homelessness in safe sleep or other congregate sites. On any given day, the alternative shelter system had the capacity to serve almost 4,000 people. Actually 3,800 is the number. We coordinated with 35 city departments, deploying almost 668 disaster service workers to support our activation. Everything from the library to HSA to MTA, controller's office. And as we transition out, there'll still be 18 HSA staff who continue to support the system for another 3 to 6 months. It's just an unbelievable accomplishment in a very short period of time that literally saved, and I'm not being sort of melodramatic, but literally saved thousands of lives. Not only homeless individuals, but preventing community spread, preventing spread in buildings that have crowded conditions or poor ventilation. And so just want to take this moment to pause and thank Doris Baroni for her fantastic leadership, Dan Kaplan, who's still with us, for partnering with Noelle Simmons to really develop and bring this whole system online. And then of course, Noelle, who's not with the agency anymore, she's over with HSH now. And then the dozens and dozens of HSA staff who stepped up in various roles to be DSWs, serving in management roles and supervisorial roles and really new roles. We couldn't have done it without all of your work. And so just thank you and congrats for a fantastic job. And then also COVID, I thought I'd mention the work rules that are evolving through Cal OSHA's decisions and also through the city's Department of Human Resources and the mayor's office. Two sort of the two big areas for our employees, city employees, are around masking and around vaccines and vaccination requirements. So the masking rules that Cal should just decide on is basically generally employees are not required to wear face coverings when working outdoors. And then employees who have submitted documentation that they're vaccinated do not have to wear face covering indoors. Employees who have not submitted documentation must wear face coverings indoors. This will go into effect, meaning the vaccinated people will not have to wear masks effective July 6th. And that leads me to vaccinations, which is on the front page of the paper today. I saw that the Department of Human Resources and the mayor announced that really in order to protect the health of city employees, but as well as clients and the public who we serve, effective Monday, this coming Monday, June 28th, employees will be required to report their vaccination status to the city within 30 days, so by July 28th. And then the second and probably the bigger announcement was that all city employees will be required to be fully vaccinated once the Food and Drug Administration gives its final approval to one of the vaccines. Remember, the FDA has only approved these vaccines on an emergency basis. So once they give final approval, all city employees have to be vaccinated no later than 10 weeks after they get the approval. There are some exceptions for employees with documented medical conditions or restrictions, as well as those who have sincerely held religious beliefs, but those employees would have to go through, would be required to go through the reasonable accommodation request and process, and then the city would decide on that. So that's big news. As far as we know, we're the first city and county to require this of city employees. Following the leadership of the Department of Public Health, it's vital that we get as many people vaccinated as possible, and it's really for the health and safety, again, of our employees and of people that we serve. So moving into the agency, just a couple of announcements out of our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Office, or DEIB office. We released an employee resource group policy, which outlines what kind of institutional support the agency will provide for formal recognition of staff employee resource groups or affinity groups. The DEIB office will review applications from groups in order to receive formal recognition by the agency, and then that will help the agency support the operation of the groups as well. And then we continue, one of the most important things around our DEIB plan is recruiting, and we're continuing our diversity recruitment efforts through increased community outreach, job postings. We participated in a departmental spotlight hosted by DHR for members of the public who are interested in city employment. There was over 100 participants. And then we continue to complete recruitment plans for all. The office of the DEIB office continues to complete recruitment plans for all the recruitments to ensure that they're advertised to diverse group of community-based organizations and reach populations that might otherwise not see these job announcements. In our Economic Support Self-Sufficiency Division, we're gearing up for a very, very large transition on the IT side, on the information technology side, meaning we're embarking on a 2-year transition from our existing CalWIN system over to the new CalSAWS system, which basically is the information system that drives and supports all of our benefit programs. It's a massive effort involving hundreds of staff. We have to do mapping new business processes that will result as a result of the new system. We have to figure out how to train hundreds and hundreds of employees, developing communication strategies so staff know about the rollout, then evaluating sort of what other systems we might need in order to support the new CalSAWS system, which is for the first time ever in California, a statewide eligibility system. We used to have what we called system consortia, which made it somewhat difficult at times to track across counties. And now we have a single system where all 58 counties and all individuals and households who are on public assistance will be in the same information system. In our county adult assistance program, we continue to sort of re-engineer how clients can sort of access this program, I guess you'd call it. we're really, the goal is make it easier or as easy as possible for eligible recipients to get onto county adult assistance, and also make it easier for our staff to do that work. And so to this end, we're simplifying the intake process in August. We're basically that the triage process, which is the process we use to evaluate an applicant's ability to work, will occur after the initial eligibility screening. In the past, this triage appointment was between sort of the initial visit and then the final visit. And so by changing it up, there now is only one intake session for clients rather than two, making it much easier to sort of follow through and get onto the benefits that they're entitled to receive. And then starting in August, CAP requirements that have been suspended through the pandemic will be reinstated. So this includes workfare, light duty workfare, our counseling services, our SSI case management services. As the city is reopening, work sites are able to accommodate more CAP clients. And so we'll begin to refer individuals back into those slots. And then our last division to report out on, our Family and Children Services division. In our Independent Living Skills program, we had 37 youth and non-minor dependents honored at our 2021 virtual graduation celebration earlier this month. About 70 people attended. Most of the high school graduates have been accepted into colleges in the Bay Area and beyond. And we'll continue to support these students to help them ensure that they graduate from college. And just want to thank staff for coordinating the event. It was a great event that was very well received. Also in ILSP, Independent Living Skills, the team's in the process of coordinating the summer events and activities for our foster youth, make sure that there's sort of continuity of activities going on during the summer. Our COVID vaccinations for foster youth and non-minor dependents, as of mid-June, we had 50 foster youth under the age of 18 and 105 non-minor dependents being vaccinated. And these numbers, of course, continue to grow as we continue to work on getting the word out to get priority for vaccinations. Our resource family approval program, and this is the process where we're basically recruiting foster homes that are now called resource family homes. I've laid out a goal, and I've mentioned this at the commission several times, that I want to get to a place where we do not have to place children out of county with strangers. If children who we need to remove from their birth parents and bring into foster care have relatives in other counties, we would place there. But if they don't, we really want to be able to place them in San Francisco, which means that we need about 100 new resource family homes. We've had continue to do our recruitment campaign, and it's going to continue to be a priority for Family and Children Services. We have created a new full-time position that will focus on this, which we're calling an RFA, Recruitment Retention Support Worker. We're doing interviews later this month. And this worker will work really closely with the primary recruiter and caregiver liaison, Ms. Arlene Hilton, which will be a great support for Arlene and really expand our ability to solicit support and interest among community members. And then lastly, in the adoptions world, I'm really happy to say that even under COVID, we exceeded the number of adoptions that we did the prior year. We run the cycle during the fiscal year, July 1 through June 30th. As of June 30th, 2020, we had 65 adoptions through that cycle. But as of June 21st, 2021, we've done 79 adoptions that have been finalized to the court. So to be able to do this in a virtual court environment and a virtual working environment is really great work. It shows the flexibility of our staff. And I just want to say kudos to the adoption team for that achievement. And I will close with that, and happy to answer any questions from you all, commissioners. Thanks.
Are there any questions from members of the Commission of Trent?
Thank you, Trent, for that report. If you said it, I missed it. But are you succeeding in finding San Francisco families to take the foster children?
Commissioner Semmel, thanks. Honestly, it's slow. The campaign we launched was probably 2 or 3 months prior to the pandemic, which was really unfortunate timing. And so it's slowed, of course, because of the adaptations we had to make to go to virtual. But we've re-upped the campaign, sort of refreshed it, and are launching it, and we're anticipating to get more numbers. I can get you, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, Commissioner, but I can certainly provide them to you and then report out on it in our next commission meeting. They have increased from prior years, but I don't know exactly how much. So I'll get that to you.
Thank you. I see a lot of advertisements on television for CASA. And I wonder if have those been successful?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. CASA is one of our key partners in recruiting for resource families or foster parents. You know, sort of with the thinking around if someone wants to volunteer to be a CASA or a court-appointed special advocate, for those who don't know what the acronym is, that they might be interested in actually being a foster parent or resource family. And so we're partnering with them very closely in that.
Just
So hopefully sort of their advertising will hopefully, you know, lead to more possibilities for us.
well, my late husband was a CASA volunteer, so I know a lot about the program. It's a great program.
It is a great program, Commissioner, absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner.
I had noticed that, James McCray, I had noticed that advertising too, Commissioner Simmel, so thank you. I just want to take a moment just to underscore the mighty work that all of the agency components that you have laid out in your report, the mighty effort and Herculean effort that they have done in this past 16, 17 months, and the adjustments in their own lives and their own families. I just want to celebrate them, and some way maybe we can put a big tin in the front and have a cup of coffee or a glass of punch together and say thank you and touch. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. I like that idea.
Great idea. I'll come, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are no more questions. Let's move on to item 5, which is the presentation of our June 2021 Employee of the Month, which is Giselle Armanderas. So we prepared a little something here. The commission is pleased to announce that Giselle Armanderas is the June Employee of the Month. Giselle is a CalWorks supervisor. Giselle is the kind of supervisor who never turns anybody away just because they are not part of her unit. You can always count on Giselle, no matter how busy she is. Her open, calm, and patient demeanor put her staff at ease when asking for her support. She consistently and generously shares her knowledge with staff and makes every effort to provide clarity to the complex CalWorks regulations. Giselle fills many more roles that are than just a supervisor. Her extensive knowledge of CalWorks program fits her unofficial role as the program representative in the Latino community. She conducts radio and TV interviews to provide outreach information on CalWorks and other related human service agency benefits, such as CalFresh and Medi-Cal. Giselle is the San Francisco CalWorks Refugee Cash Assistance Coordinator with the California Department of Social Services. She takes the lead in the CalWorks eligibility section during Refuge Cash Assistance Program audits. Giselle is recognized in CalWorks newsletter for her hard work and dedication to the agency. Her colleagues greatly appreciate her expertise and willingness to help. Giselle also receives the Employee Spotlight during the city's Hispanic Heritage Month. And now Giselle can add Employee of the Month to her list of accolades. Congratulations, Giselle. Mr. Orr, I'd like you to add to these comments. And I'd also like to say that I met Giselle this morning in the office, which is the first face-to-face we've had with one of our employees of the month. And yet she did have a nice smile on her face, and she is in the building today, Trent. So
I see that.
you'd like to make?
I recognize the background.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Giselle. Very well deserved. Glad we can add to a list of your well-deserved accolades. Just want to say, the importance of our programs reaching communities that may not know that we're there to help them and may not know they're eligible based on status or based on maybe language barrier, and you agreeing to serve as the sort of unofficial liaison is sort of a testament to I think maybe your belief in our mission, and going above and beyond and doing whatever it takes. And I just want to say thank you for that, but also thank you for your great work being liaison to the RCA program, which is sort of one of those small programs that doesn't get a lot of attention, but is also very important. And just thank you for your great work. And we're glad we got to honor you, and glad that you're in the building as well. And in September, hopefully a lot more of us are in the building when the city fully reopens. So congratulations.
And in addition to Giselle, we also have attending our meeting, I believe, both of her sisters. And if you're here, you can say hello to your sister now. Giselle, do you have any comments?
Yes, I want to thank everyone for all your kind words. It is a pleasure and honor to work for this agency, and especially for the Cowards program. I've been in this program for 14 years, and it's been amazing. We are a family that are here to just support those families in needs. I believe it's more than just providing those benefits that they need. It's also listening to them and like really hearing what their needs are. It's what makes a difference of how we impact our communities. And it's this award is not just for me, but for all of my peers, my coworkers, everyone that works along with me to make sure that these families receive what they are in so much need. And it is an honor to work for Cowards, and I am very honored and pleased, and I thank everyone for this nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle. And there's a gift that'll be delivered to you to your desk in the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 6, the consent calendar. Do any of my fellow commissioners want to remove an item for individual discussion? If not, then I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So move.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 7, commission business action items. Item A, requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with Arriba Juntas for the provision of community jobs program, CalWorks, for a period July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, and the amount of $6,963,372 plus a 10% contingency. Marlene Sanchez.
Yes, good morning, commissioners. My name is Marlene Sanchez, Community Service Specialist from Welfare to Work. If I may, I would like to present items A and B together. The Department of Benefits and Family Support requests authorization to enter into a new grant with Arriba Juntos and Young Community Developers. The purpose of the grant is to provide transitional employment services. The Community Jobs Program, or CJP, is a subsidized work experience, professional development, and case management program that was developed to assist HSA participants in transitioning to self-sufficiency. The program includes job readiness, job placement, soft skills training, and barrier remediation. The CJP is available to CalWorks participants through Arriba Juntos, and the CAP, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal participants are served through Young Community Developers. CJP participants obtain marketable skills through a 3 to 6 month paid work experience at nonprofit community agencies, along with professional development and supportive case management. Simultaneously, participants receive classroom hours for basic remedial education and professional skills development, digital literacy, and computer skills training. The Community Jobs Program is a key service for CalWORKs participants to meet work participation requirements and move to self-sufficiency. The program has also been found effective in moving single adults into employment. Please note that approximately 70% of the funding goes directly to participants' wages. If these contracts are approved, Arriba Juntos and Young Community Developers will serve 500 participants per contract. I am available to answer your questions, and Gladys Garcia from Arriba Juntos and Mark Aquino from Young Community Developers are here as well.
Thank you, Marlene. Is there any other comment? Seeing none, then I ask for a vote. Can I have a motion to approve item A, authorization entered to the new grant with the Arriba Juntos?
So move.
Approval of
Second.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Thank you, Marlene. Now, item B, requesting authorization enter into a new contract with Young Community Developers for provision of the Community Jobs Program, non-CalWORKs, for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, and the amount of $6,963,372, plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $7,659,709.
Move approval,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C, requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with the Arriba Juntos for the provision of Community Jobs Program, the Interrupt, Predict, and Organize program for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, in the amount of $2,653,860 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $2,919,246. Calling on Andy Beatley Hagler.
Yes, good morning, President Khan and Commissioners. My name is Andy Beatley Hagler, and I'm the Program Monitor for Community Jobs Program and Interrupt, Predict, and Organize, also known as CJP IPO. Just want to make sure everyone can hear me and see me. I think you can, so I will continue. But before I do that, I just want to say that I'll be presenting this for both items C and D, with your permission. So the Department of Benefits and Family Support, I have to get used to saying that, requests authorization to enter into new grants for the provision of CJP IPO with the Arriba Juntos and Young Community Developers for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, in an amount of $5,307,720, plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $5,838,492. The purpose of the grants is to provide transitional employment services to participants in the IPO program. The goal of the IPO program is to interrupt violence, predict where violent hotspots may occur, and organize multiple agencies to work collaboratively in providing violence prevention services and promoting a safer San Francisco. IPO serves at-risk, which is those who have delinquent patterns of behavior and negative contact with the police, and in-risk, those working with adult probation departments, justice-involved individuals between the ages of 18 to 35. The IPO program aims to ensure public safety and offer positive alternative paths to the target population. Adult Probation Department, which is APD, manages the case management, behavioral health, education, and barrier removal services for IPO participants, while HSA maintains oversight of the transitional employment services, including job readiness training, work experience, and job coaching. CJP IPO is a wage-based transitional employment model that assists participants in obtaining marketable skills through 6-month work experience placements at community nonprofit agencies, coupled with professional development and skills training, as well as employment-related case management. The 25-hour per week work experience assignment provides an opportunity for basic and occupational skills acquisition. The work experience site provides daily supervision with ongoing monitoring and job coaching by the grantee, and simultaneously participants receive 4 hours per week of classroom professional development and computer skills training. Job search and placement services are provided to the participants to transition them into full-time employment. Grantees will each enroll 60 participants per year. So I'm available to answer questions regarding the services, of course. We've got a whole host of folks representing on the meeting from Arriba Juntos and YCD, including, let's see who's here, including Brian Legaspi, Arriba Juntos' program director. We've got, I think we've got also Ms. Tracy Taper from YCD. She's the director there. And I believe we have Destiny from APD as well.
Thank you, Andy. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, then I ask for a motion to approve item C.
I'd like to make a comment or ask a question if I may.
Okay.
What is your relationship with the police department? Do you have a positive relationship with the police department?
Right. Well, that's part of what this program works on. And so folks who are at risk or in risk, and the definitions is what I read. And so, when you're looking at in risk populations, that would include somebody who's already working with the adult probation department, meaning they already are justice involved. And then the at-risk population is those who have either had delinquent patterns of behavior or negative contact with the police. And so, I can always have someone else jump in and help answer that question. But basically the idea is that we're trying to target individuals who are, in populations that would be at risk of, having trouble with the justice system and trying to, interrupt that cycle before it happens or in midstream. And then get people together, organize with our consortium of groups and get them on a positive path to employment. So APD, the Adult Probation Department, plays a key role in this, and they're part of the justice system. But we're trying, and so to say that some of our participants might have had negative interactions with the police at some time, I think would be accurate, but we're trying to steer them in the right direction with our partners with APD and the providers.
Yeah, well, I've had conversations with the police chief, and I know that he is anxious to have positive reactions with people. So I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Semmel.
Thank you, Commissioner Semmel. Can I ask for a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving on to item D. Once again, Andy Beatley-Hagler requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with the Young Community Developers for the provision of the Community Jobs Program, the Interrupt, Predict, and Organize program for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, in the amount of $2,653,860 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $2,919,246. Andy, you
Yes.
presented on this. We're just going to ask for a vote now. Is there any public comment? Can I ask for a motion to approve item D?
So move.
There's a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Item E, Andy Beatley-Hagler requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with Hunters Point Family for the provision of Community Jobs Program, Park Stop Program for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024, and the amount of $4,569,343, plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $5,026,000 $5,026,277. Is there, Andy, I'm calling on you again.
Yes, indeed. Good morning again. And yes, I'm Andy Hegler. I'm also the program monitor for the Park Restroom Monitor contract. The Department of Benefits and Family Support requests authorization to renew the grant with Hunters Point Family for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024 in an amount of $4,569,343 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $5,026,277. The purpose of the grant is to provide transitional employment services, allowing participants to monitor and ensure the availability of safe and clean restroom facilities at 12 San Francisco Recreation and Park Department sites. That's RPD, of course. The CJP Park Stop program assists participants in obtaining marketable skills through a 6-month wage-based work experience at San Francisco park sites, coupled with professional development and skills training, as well as supportive case management. With oversight provided by HSA and RPD, the grantee will train and supervise the park restroom monitors. In addition, participants will receive basic remedial education and professional skills development, as well as digital literacy and computer skills training. Job search and placement services will be provided to the participants to transition them into employment, and 56 participants will be enrolled in the CJP Park Stop program annually. I'm available to answer questions, of course. I believe we've got Alan on the line. He's the Park Stop Director at Hunters Point Family. Yes, and that's, thank you.
Any comments from members of the commission?
I have a question.
Go ahead, George.
Thank you. Now, this is a monitoring program only, so no corrective action as such is taken by the participants. Is that correct?
Well, so they're basically to break it down. I mean, they're basically cleaning the restrooms in the parks, and also being a positive presence there to maintain a healthy environment in the parks. Does that answer your question?
Not quite. What I'm getting at is that this the function of the participants is merely monitoring and not actually correcting any problems.
Well, sure. No, I understand the question. I think they do a little bit of everything. It's pretty interesting to see the monitors at work, Commissioner Yamasaki, and I've had the pleasure of going out to some of the parks myself. We have an HSA group that plays basketball in one of the parks, but they do a really good job of just having a presence there. And I think they deserve to be commended for not only, doing the task of cleaning the restroom, but also, kind of staking their claim to the park and letting people know that they're there and that, they're monitoring the situation, and that's not a place to be if you're going to be engaging in, disruptive behavior or I guess illegal behavior and things like that. One anecdote that I'll share with you was that recently, when a park monitor arrived at his shift, I believe it was in the morning, he found an unresponsive person in the bathroom, and I think was credited basically for saving this guy's life by alerting authorities to this person who may have had an overdose, which is something that has been really on the rise, as I'm sure you know. So they really wear a lot of hats. Now I'll stop there because I'm still not 100% sure I answered the question. But yes, they're monitoring the parks, meaning that they're helping clean the restrooms, which is the main part of it. But there's also another aspect to it as well. And I think I have others who could jump in and give you more context if you need.
This is Tony. I'm the program director. Tony Lugo, I'm the program director. Commissioner Yamasaki. Just to add and clarify to Andy's statement, they don't do any law enforcement of any kind whatsoever. They're basically they're monitoring the use of the bathrooms and making sure that they stay clean, and facilitating people coming in and out, and ensuring that kind of the use is kept to what the bathrooms are. So if there are needs for anything beyond that, they will need to then rely on other levels of support for that. That might include law enforcement or park rangers or whatever. So I hope that adds a little more clarification.
Thank you, Tony.
I'd like to know whether there's cooperation with the Park and Rec Department.
Hi, this is Lamont Bishop from Recreation and Park Department. And yes, there is cooperation between the monitors and our rangers and San Francisco Police Department.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's ask for, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve.
Move approval.
Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. No. Yeah. Item F. Again, Andy Beatley Hagler requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with the Arriba Juntos for the provision of transitional employment support services.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Lamont. I meant to shout you out for RPD. Sorry about that. I saw you there and also saw Melody from Hunters Point Family and I think some others. So we had a great showing from all the providers and all of our partner agencies. Lamont's been a great help through this whole process. So good morning again. I'm Andy and I'm also the program monitor for the Transitional Employment Support Services contract, which is TESS, T-E-S-S. The Department of Benefits and Family Support requests authorization to enter into new grants for the provision of the TESS program with young community developers and Arriba Juntos for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024 in an amount of $1,500,000 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $1,650,000. HSA, in coordination with 14 other city departments, operates a transitional subsidized employment program known as the Public Service Trainee Program, or PST. The PST program was designed to provide opportunities for participants with various levels of job and soft skills to get training and work experience at host sites under the supervision of these city departments. The TESS program was developed to increase the success of PST participants at their host sites and move them towards unsubsidized employment. Each provider will serve 170 participants annually and will provide job readiness classes, barrier remediation, and employment support services to program participants, including 6 job readiness workshops with topics such as resume writing, workplace guidelines, digital literacy, and effective communication, job coaching to train participants on skills that will allow them to remain and excel at their work sites, case management and barrier remediation, and job search and placement services. And I'm available to answer questions. I believe we've got Ariel Gagnon, the test program coordinator for YCD. I believe LaDonna McKinney and others from the Arriba Juntos team are as well. And I'm here to answer questions. Thanks.
Any questions from members of the commission?
Yes, sir. So in addition to the training, you also help them find a job. Is that what you're saying?
Right, exactly. They get the 6-month public service trainee position with the city. So that's a temporary city job basically, but then part of the role is after that job to move them towards, unsubsidized employment. So that's also the placement services, and the job search is also part of what the providers do.
That's very important.
Yes,
Training
indeed.
is wonderful, but then you've got to be able to use the training.
Right.
Thank you.
Can I ask for a motion to approve, please?
So move.
Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Item G, again, Andy, and requesting authorization to enter a new grant agreement with young community developers for the provision of transitional employment support services program for a period July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024 in the amount of $750,000 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $825,000. Right. So can I ask for a motion to approve?
So move.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Item H, requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with Help a Mother Out for the provision of diaper bank services for a period July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2025, in the amount of $1,452,596 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $1,597,856. Perry Weisberg.
Hello, commissioners. Thank you.
Good
My name's
morning.
Perry. I'm a policy analyst with the agency's planning unit. My name is Perry Weisberg. Thank you for having me. The request before you in item H is a grant to operate the San Francisco Diaper Bank. The purpose of this program is to provide families who participate in the CalWorks and CalFresh programs with free, high-quality children's diapers. Help a Mother Out has been our agency's operating partner for the program since its inception in 2015. The program is important because we know that due to high costs of diapers, 1/3 of families nationwide experience diaper need that impacts families' physical and mental health, and it impacts their economic opportunities. Under the Diaper Bank program, 3,000 babies and toddlers receiving CalFresh and CalWorks in San Francisco are eligible for a full supply of diapers every month to alleviate that need. Families pick up their monthly supply of diapers at 12 distribution sites in neighborhoods around the city. And last year, the program was able to provide nearly 1.7 million diapers to low-income San Francisco families. We expect that, that it will continue at pace. I'm glad to answer any questions about the program, and Elizabeth Leone also is the contract manager and can respond to additional questions.
As a mother, I have to approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, Perry.
Thank you.
Item I, requesting authorization to enter into a new grant agreement with Unity Care Group for the provision of housing navigation, case management, and housing stabilization services for transitional age youth for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $1,065,421 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $1,171,963. And Jeffrey Nage, sorry for the pronunciation, is here for any questions.
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Jeff Nagai. A program support analyst with HSA's Family and Children Services. I'm here. The Department of Benefits and Family Support requests the Commission's authorization to enter into this new grant agreement with Unity Care Group. The goal of the new program is to prevent and reduce homelessness of emancipating and former foster youth by providing housing navigation and case management services, including up to 36 months of independent living skills support. The program will utilize foster youth to independence initiative vouchers from the San Francisco Housing Authority, as well as other housing subsidies and transitional housing programs as housing interventions. We expect the program to serve up to 35 youth in the first year, and then up to 70 youth over the course of the 2-year grant. We look at this as a great opportunity to extend the support that we provide to emancipating youth in a way that we haven't been able to in the past, and to provide continued housing support for youth after they turn 21. We're joined today by Andre Chapman, who's the founder and CEO of Unity Care Group, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have at this point.
Any questions from members of the commission?
What is the age served goes beyond 18, is that right?
Yeah, extended foster care goes through age 21, although it was also, there's an extension by the state where we have some non-minor dependents who are continue to receive services from the county after 21. This program would extend further housing resources that aren't available to those same youth.
James McCray, how many transitional sites do we have in the city now?
That's a good question. I don't have that number with me.
I know we did when before retirement, we were working with Booker T to get their transitional housing. So I'm just experiencing this proposal or memorandum as an extension of that work, because after they've done service and completed their time there, they need assistance to move forward. Is that it?
Commissioner, this is Robin Love, Program Manager for Family and Children's Services. It's good to see everyone.
Hi.
Hi. So this is actually a brand new program that we're offering.
Okay.
As part of Governor Newsom's Resources for Housing, we received a Housing and Community Development Grant in the amount as indicated on the commission memo. So for the first time, we within child welfare are implementing a program that prioritizes non-minor dependents who are emancipating and former foster youth. So the goal is to use these funds working in partnership with Housing HSH and with Unity Care in order to administer the FYI vouchers that we have based on an award, as well as these grant funds. And our goal is we have about 80 21 plus 22-year-olds in care based on the extension. So we want to provide housing solutions in addition to what HSH is offering, particularly for this group.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Moving on to, hold on.
J.
Here we go. Moving on to item J. Jeffrey Nagy again, requesting authorization to modify the existing grant agreement with Family Builders by Adoption for provision of adoption and permanency services for the time period July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2022 for an additional amount of $696,106 plus a 10% contingency for a revised total amount not to exceed $4,439,313. Is there any?
Hello again, Commissioners.
Yes, go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hello again. The department is requesting authorization to modify the grant agreement with Family Builders by Adoption for the period July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2022. The purpose of the grant and services to provide adoption-related services, including adoption recruitment and outreach, individualized permanency services and coaching, resource family approval assessments and training, as well as family finding services. Family Builders, as you know, is a longtime partner with the county, and they've provided adoption-related services for the past 15 years. Over the past years, they've met or exceeded most of their performance expectations while making adjustments to their approach in response to the pandemic. And we feel that as we move forward and as we approach a new normal in the pandemic, that they're going to bring their numbers back into alignment and expectations. We're joined today by Jill Jacobs, Executive Director of Family Builders, and I believe is Cheryl Smith, Chief Executive Officer of Family Builders. And I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
I believe Cheryl Smith is with a different contract, but I just wanted to say Jill has been a phenomenal partner as we look at our permanency work, adoption work. She also assists with RFA, family evaluation completions. And today she was on TV being the staunch advocate that she always is, Channel 2 for LGBTQ youth and adoptions and promoting that work and the challenges that are faced by same-sex parents wanting to adopt. So congratulations. It was a great segment, Jill. And I'm also happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this contract.
Are there any questions from members of the commission?
Move approval.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill, for representing. Appreciate hearing that. Thank you. Yeah.
Item K, requesting authorization to enter into a new contract agreement with the American Red Cross Bay Area chapter for the provision of fiscal intermediary services as a part of the emergency hotel extension for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2026 in the amount of $490,000 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $539,000. Doris Baroni, are you here? You are here. There you are.
I am here, yes. Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for having me today.
Good morning.
So we are requesting, as you stated, authorization to enter into a new grant with the American Red Cross Bay Area chapter for a 5-year span between July 1st, 2021 and June 30th, 2026. The purpose of the grant is to continue to provide the hotel extension program on behalf of the Human Services Agency to assist middle and low income San Francisco residents who are 100% AMI and below affected by disasters and emergency situations such as fires. San Francisco Human Services Fire Response Program provides immediate assistance in collaboration with the American Red Cross Bay Area chapter to displaced persons in the form of temporary shelter or hotels. And we execute this through the hotel extension program. This allows displaced residents and their families a safe and stable place to stay as they secure new long-term housing in anticipation of the repair of their pre-fire housing unit. So the idea is to provide some stability as individuals identify new housing as they have been displaced and then allowed to be in that temporary housing until they can return to their pre-fire unit. The way that we respond or work with the Red Cross is that if there is a fire in San Francisco that is expected to displace residents, the Red Cross provides immediate funds to residents so that they can cover up to 3 nights in a hotel. If individuals or displaced families require more time to secure new housing, HSA then steps in to provide a hotel extension up to 3 weeks. And we do that with some flexibility and allow people time to either identify a new unit or enter a housing subsidy that may be available through the city. Just for some context, during the fiscal year 1920, the Fire Response Program provided support to 14 specific fire incidents where we hoteled up to 85 San Franciscans. So this is pretty critical work to ensure that people, again, have a safe and stable place to reside as they are looking for new temporary housing. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the program.
Any members of the commission have any questions? If not, then I'd like to, is there any public comment? Seeing none, then I'd like to ask for a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item L, requesting authorization to renew the grant agreement with Bay Area Legal Aid for the provision of individualized legal support services and SSI advocacy for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $1,593,760 plus a 10% contingency for a total amount not to exceed $1,753,136. Adriana Duran.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Christina Iwasaki, and I will be presenting this item for Adriana. I'm the Community Services Manager for Welfare to Work Services. The Department of Benefits and Family Support requests authorization to renew the grant with Bay Area Legal Aid for the provision of Individualized Legal Support Services, ILSS, and SSI Advocacy. For ILSS, CalWORKS, CAP, and CalFresh participants often need legal services to resolve issues that prevent them from entering an employment activity or securing and retaining employment. Bay Legal provides culturally competent, individualized legal support, including legal advice, support and representation, or referrals to address these employment barriers. Areas addressed include employment rights, consumer credit, driver's license, housing, and civil cases. Bay Legal will provide either full service, individualized legal support services, or complete simple legal transactions for a total of 350 client matters annually. For SSI Advocacy, many clients who have a physical and/or mental health condition that may qualify them for benefits need help navigating the Social Security application process. Bay Legal will provide legal services and social work services in order to help individuals experiencing homelessness or at serious risk of homelessness apply for and qualify for SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance Benefits, SSI Supplemental Security Income, and or the state's Cash Aid Program for Immigrants, CAPI benefits. Bay Legal will serve a total of 130 participants. I'm available to answer any questions, and we have representatives from Bay Legal as well. Thank you.
Move acceptance.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. So just we're at item now. Item M, requesting authorization to modify the existing grant agreement with Family Support Services for the provision of emergency backup and mildly ill childcare for the period of July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2022 for an additional amount of $668,649 plus a 10% contingency for a revised total amount not to exceed $4,426,484. Jason Holta.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, President Khan, Commissioners. I'm Jason Holta, analyst with the Office of Early Care and Education. We are asking the Commission's authorization to enter into a grant agreement with Family Support Services to provide CalWORKS emergency backup and mildly ill childcare services. This modification extends the grant term for one additional year. It's the office's intention to issue an RFP for this grant this upcoming year. Family Support Services is a long-time, highly regarded contractor with the department who provides CalWORKS families with quality backup childcare services so parents can remain engaged in work or other self-sufficiency activities when their existing childcare arrangements temporarily break down or their child becomes mildly ill. They also provide some on-site childcare staffing at CalWORKS trainings and other events where childcare is not typically available. And recently, Family Support Services has begun working with Dr. Weber at the Department of Public Health's COVID vaccine call center to provide emergency childcare services for parents who are hesitant to get the vaccine for fear of being out of commission from its side effects. And we're really happy about that. I'm happy to answer any questions. We also have Family Support Services Chief Executive Officer Cheryl Smith is here in attendance as well.
Thank you, Jason. Any questions from members of the commission?
I'm pleased to move approval, and I want to congratulate Mr. Holt on that fantastic background.
Thank you,
Mr. Yamasaki.
Is there a motion to approve? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moved.
Thank
moving
you.
on, there's no public comment. I'm sorry, I should have asked for public comment. Item N, requesting authorization to renew the contract agreement with Subvertical LLC for the provision of OECE enrollment database services for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2023 for a total amount not to exceed $982,500. Wei-Ming Wang.
Yes, hi, commissioners. Good morning. This contract is to basically, for the last year, we've been working with Subvertical to develop a new data system to manage the city's early childhood fund, early care and education funding. And this replaces anywhere from 2 to 3 systems that have been in use in the city to manage our ECE programs for the last 13 years. So we've spent a year in development and we began launching it beginning in February, a couple months ago. This system tracks all the enrollment in our ECE, city-funded ECE subsidies, as well as keeping track of information about program quality and quality improvement plans for all of our city-funded centers and family child care homes. We're looking for a renewal for 2 years so that we can continue to maintain the system and for our programs to be able to use it. I am happy to answer any questions about it.
Any questions from members of the commission? Is there any public comment? If none, then I ask for a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9. Are there any public comments? If not, then our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.